Hello from Slide Nerd and hello from Weaves. In the last video, I showed you guys the concept and the steps behind how to make a linear layout using Java code. In this video, we are gonna get our hands dirty and actually make it inside our Android developer tools. So here, I have my linear layout code example project running, which simply has this main activity which is named as linear layout code example.java. So here, I'm gonna do my step one. First, if you guys remember, create the object for the view group and the views. So I'm gonna simply say linear layout LL, that's all, text view T, and button B. Now remember, if you're Java developers who are experienced, you probably look at these names and you're disgusted. I know it's not good naming syntax to give names like that, but still, to keep things simple, here I'm gonna give simple names like these. So next is to actually instantiate each of these references which we have created. Here I'm gonna go ahead and say LL is new linear layout, and I'm gonna pass this inside. If you remember, I said this takes a context object in my previous video. Here, if you notice, context is a superclass of activity, and activity is a superclass of linear layout code example. So in short, context is also a superclass of linear layout code example. That means we can simply pass our reference, this, to the parameter, and that will accept, because a superclass reference variable can refer to a subclass object, and this is a Java property. If you don't know this property, I will be talking about this property in my Java playlist, but this is what you need to remember for now. So here I say T is new text view again, same context parameter, right? B is new button, same context parameter. So at this step, I have my three objects created, one for the layout, that is linear layout, and then have my text view and my button object created. Alright, next is to actually set their dimensions. Now if you guys remember, dimensions are defined using an object called layout params. So I'm gonna say layout params dimensions equals to new layout params. This takes two attributes, as you guys can see it, width and the height. The width and the height are match parent for the linear layout, because it's going to take full space on the screen, right? So I'm gonna simply say layout params dot match parent and layout params. So at this point, I have simply defined the dimension object to be match parent in width and match parent in height, but I have not told the linear layout that, hey, these are your dimensions. So for that, I'm gonna simply say linear layout dot set layout params, and I'm gonna pass the dimensions object which I created above. So at this step, your linear layout knows how big it should be, because we have already defined the width and height over here inside our dimensions object. Now the same step you need to do for the text view and also for the button, to tell each of them how big they should be. So let's actually make another layout params object by saying layout params. I'll call this object view dimensions as new. So here I have created another layout params for the text view and the button. Now I have created the same object for both of them, because they are both wrap content in width and wrap content in height, right? So at this point, I'm going to simply say T dot set layout params view dimensions. Again, button is also going to use the same wrap content and wrap content in width and height, right? So I'm going to say B dot set layout params. So at this point, what I have done is I have created the object in view groups, right? That is, our linear layout has been instantiated, the text view has been instantiated, the button is there, and we have set the dimensions for each of them. Next is to actually set the properties. Now if you remember, our linear layout was vertical in orientation, so I'm gonna say linear layout dot set orientation. There is a vertical parameter inside your linear layout class. I'm gonna say linear layout dot vertical. So this is gonna make my orientation vertical for the linear layout. Next, for the text view, if you remember, the text should be hello world. So I'm gonna say T dot set text. I'm gonna say hello world over here. For the button, it should say B dot set text. So at this point, we have defined the properties for everything. Now we need to add the text view and the button inside our linear layout. If you see the XML on the right side, that's how things would look, right? So for that, we are gonna say LL dot add view, and this will actually add the text view inside our button. So we need to pass the object text view, add the text view first, right? And then we add the button next. So we're gonna say ll.add view B, right? And after this point, our linear layout, everything is set up. Our linear layout has been added. There's only one step remaining. If you see this set content view over here, remove this XML file. We are gonna tell Android that your appearance is contained inside this object LL. Now this LL has your text view and your button, and that means we have set everything up. So let's actually go ahead, run this and see how this looks. Control S, select it over here, run it at the top using this icon. There you go, guys. Bam, it's running. There's the hello world text view. There's the button right below it. And yes, you guys can see it looks exactly like what we used to do in XML all these days, and it's working perfectly now. But remember, this is not the recommended approach. I just made this vid so that you guys know how to define your layouts in Java code. I hope you guys have understood something out of this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Have a nice day.